benches.
Better just to go barefoot.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then you might step on some shit.
It was a lot of fun at the legislature. I think some of my favorite memories with Jamie involved Charmy and driving around the Capitol. I mean, I can recall very, very explicitly several times her just screaming from the car at youth that might be crossing the road and
Or just
maybe dawdling.
Just like at the building itself. Just at the building itself.
So much fun. It's a good time. And then inevitably we'd do something wrong and get yelled at. So it was good.
Right.
Well, the wind has been taken out of these sails.
Yeah. So take.
I was on
These
a nice,
broken
exciting
wings.
roll. I was drawing all the listeners back in, and then it was just nullified by useless banter and banging on
Jamie's
things.
gently taking us out. Very gently.
Now Jamie is.
Now, if we want to keep going, I will re-energize, and we'll get into a whole other era. Yeah, we covered it pretty
Well, this
thoroughly.
means he has to
Though
come
we,
back
we,
next
we
week.
capped it off. Jeff talked about it a lot. I asked him a lot of questions about it.
So Jamie will have to come back next week.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, if we go right to next week, people might want to mix it up a little bit. I think the listeners might be getting a little tired of
They're sick
I
and
think
tired of
that
Jamie
Jamie.
Lowell.
Entranced.
But, you know, what I didn't get to was the fact that in 2015, after the 2014 debacle in the legislature, we met at Third Coast, and it was one of Chuck Ream's.
Yeah, we're still in the air.
No.
Yeah, we are.
Okay. All right. Well, the way you said that seemed suspect.
No, see, on air.
All right. Well, Chuck Ream had his annual breakfast of people who helped out in local campaigns, and there's been many across the state for medical and for some form of legalization, lowest level enforcement priority, or the ability for adults 21 and over on private property, and so forth. And they've evolved as they've gone by. And during this meeting, we hear of the group MRC, the Michigan Responsibility Council, or whatever they're
Scary.
called. The approach of a few players, controlling the entire market. The billionaires, just dollar signs in their eyes, thinking of lifting of prohibition. And of course, Tim Beck ended up thinking that's okay because there is like an old school thought where as long as you create a scenario where there's a commercial system in place and somebody 21 and over can buy something and walk away and not worry about getting arrested, that they're okay. But we've always wanted to be able to kind of match up the consciousness of the people with how far we take the policy as much as possible and get past something where a small group of people kind of control the entire market and offer more opportunities. So that's the day when doing an initiative and taking it seriously and eventually Am I Legalized was kind of conceived of at that moment. And
what year was that?
That was 2015 in January.
I was there, and I want to say it was interesting because
that was a great meeting.
There was an attempt to really, get input and see what the direction would be taken from the community, if there was any, based on what was going on, And I remember a lot of the different views being passed around in a civilized discourse from a lot of different points of view, which still probably remain within the community. And it's a real, it's a real diplomatic challenge, I think, of everyone to even come to, together. And it's like all political issues, you're going to have people that want more before they're going to agree, and people that want to think of it more as incrementalization. I remember Dan Groh, a lawyer friend, said something to the effect of, how many people feel okay with the outcome here being that, an adult can go into a dispensary and buy an ounce of marijuana and go home and not think twice about it, which is not something that I would necessarily favor. And, just that, and that's all that is the outcome. But I realized at that time that I know a lot of people that would think that. They just don't want to get arrested for an ounce of marijuana. They want to be able to go in and buy it. They don't care. Want to drive home, not get pulled over. If they do, it's okay to have it. They go home and smoke it at home instead of alcohol. And I got the point that he was making. And all the other stuff was kind of like a...
Tim and Greg Schmidt and even Brad Forrester at times have made the
sure,
same point.
Incrementalization. And, we'll come back. That's actually the position taken of the National Normal Legal Committee, which is... he spoke a year that I was there at Hash. What's his name? Come on. lawyer from.
I know, I can't think of it, but yeah, he took the same position.
Yeah, you get a little bit now. You come back later on. What's his name? Come on, you know.
But I was, I can't think of his name. At the
Lee
moment.
Berger. Yeah, Lee
No,
Berger.
it's not. That's not it.
Who?
The National Normal lawyer, the guy who actually founded Normal.
He's actually involved in the scandal of getting. Remember, Jimmy Carter was going to legalize marijuana, and he was caught upstairs.
You're talking about not Stroop.
Yes.
Yeah, Keith Strupp.
Yep.
Oh. Well, there you
Yeah,
go.
but in
Yeah,
my
on the
in
show,
my
we're on
opinion,
the
that
show.
kind of power and control gets immersed too heavily to really effectively pick away from it and open up the market that easily. I was kind of concerned of that. Plus, knowing that the consciousness of the people is so far advanced from that, makes it difficult just to kind of succumb to them. Now, if that's as far as we could possibly get, and we could say at least we can get this right now, then fine. But I'd have a hard time living with such restrictions and knowing that we could probably push the envelope, and we did. So it can be done, and it was summarily rejected in Ohio, of course, which kind of helped to
Yeah.
identify where that idea stands to most people.
Yeah, it certainly foiled any chance the MRC had of growing legs. And
I think even if it would have passed, MRC still would have had a tough time in Michigan. It's a unique set of circumstances here. We're just
But
more far.
MRC was a very bizarre organization to begin with, and
it still is. It still
It
exists.
still exists, and it's totally different though.
Yeah, now they just want to kill the CRMLA initiative.
The whole mission has reversed itself for the MRC. Very strange.
It's really bizarre, and it's bizarre
is.
to watch some of these pro-medical professional organizations that we saw advocating for the bills in the legislature coming out and also coming out against legalization because they feel it'll negatively impact their business interests. It's really disturbing.
Yeah, well, they identify
MRC is
themselves as being
fueling-
part of a shrinking minority. It's
The
up to
MRC
them.
is fueling the opposition to the new proposal. They're part of
Well,
the opposition, right?
yeah, they haven't perked up too much. The other group got $150,000 from Sam, so we're expecting a little noise out of those idiots. In
Kevin
fact, speaking of
said
that, April 26th, I helped to put this together at the Pontiac Country Club. The North Oakland Republican Club, NORC, is sponsoring a debate between the Am I Legalized CRMLA proposal and this guy Scott Greenlee, who's a healthy, productive in Michigan or something like that.
Is he bringing his pistol?
I don't know if he is or not. I wanted to be a panel discussion. I had other people lined up to be involved with it. He kind of was intimidated by that because I think maybe
Is this gonna be you and him?
the truth.
Is
It
it gonna
could
be
be.
you?
It could have been me.
Skins on skins.
Could have been me. It could have been whoever I selected but I wanted this group to be impressed by the credibility of the people of the person taking our side or the people at that time. So the panel discussion, I had different people in mind, but it turns out that John Truscott Rossman will be representing our CRMLA and my legalized side.
That's a heavy hitter right there.
And
I still think you would be the one.
I myself or Rick Thompson could easily deal with this guy. I'm sure
Definitely.
Michael could deal with this guy. Jeff Irwin could deal with this guy. But the credibility of John Truscott to this crowd is a little bit better than we can provide.
I get the significance.
Yep.
Well,
By the way, that goes for Josh, and for Jeff, and for Jim, and for you. We could all crush this guy because he's an idiot when it comes to this. He's just trying to capture the funds that are out there.
What kind of stuff is he saying? I'm curious.
forget the honey.
2.5 ounces is like the most people can have in possession, the most in the country, the highest in the country. All this kind of bullshit. That it really doesn't regulate like alcohol. Some other shit.
He's
I don't
not
know.
wrong on that point, right? It's much more restrictive than.
Well,
alcohol
take the 2.5 ounce
regulation,
thing. There is no
Yeah,
restriction
exactly.
on alcohol there, but we do put a restriction on this. And Maine already did it, and it's been that way for patients in Michigan for years. And with the caregiver system, there are people that could
Sky's
have a
not
lot more and
falling.
have been able to for years.
It's fine.
The public is
And
fine with
nothing
it. It's
happened.
acceptable level. It's-
And there's going to continue to be that. I mean, there's
I
a
understand Ken Stecker's going around the state, and he is
Succeeding.
Ken Stecker, our old buddy.
appearing at various places,
Oh,
He was just
And,
over in St. Clair.
is he still with Pam?
and he's been exercise his
spokesperson
position
for
as to
How
whether or not
cute.
people should
He updates all the rules on
opt in or not. I don't know if he's. It's curious. He's going to be speaking at the marijuana law section.
Oh, maybe he wants to become a member.
The caucus.
Friday.
Yeah, tell him come to the caucus.
Come to the
Friday.
caucus
Friday.
on the
We'll have
It's
a
Friday.
chat.
I'm going to be.
Have
I'm
a little
speaking there as
chat.
well up in.
He's speaking tonight in Livonia, along with a DEA officer from Denver
What's the spiel?
and
Well-
Andrew Brisboe.
Steve.
They already hate weed in Livonia. It's redundant. They're focusing on the wrong places.
It just makes them feel self-assured.
Did they?
Businesses, I'm pretty sure that my son told me they did. Yeah, he's
Livonia?
That's what he told me,
Livonia, Livonia actually commercially licensed caregivers, and then denied them or opted out or said they weren't opting in.
They tried the federal
True.
thing too. They were one of the cities that said
Yeah,
anything
they're not
federally
favorable,
illegal is also illegal here, which is
But Ken Stecker appears to have had effect in a township within St. Clair County recently.
what meaning
What
what
township?
he's telling them not to
Meaning-
opt in.
Right, meaning he's
Okay.
showing up there with police members.
Which
and-
township in St. Clair?
I believe it was KPAC.
We'll have to give up K-Pac for now.
Well, the point being that may not be in a position. He said he was there at the request of his friend Sheriff Donnellan. I don't know if Sheriff Donnellan is in a position to really be asking for opinions to come in. He maybe, if he was asked,
What
your
his
thoughts are?
What are his credentials? What makes him an expert?
who Donnellan?
Ken Stecker.
Well, he knows how to read from the airs of the
'Cause he's
Colorado
he's
Rocky
directed
Mountain High Reports.
prosecutors
Oh.
to
That's
what he
arrest
knows.
people for the last.
I see. Okay. Sounds like he's full of shit to me, but
Well, I question if he's paid by the prosecutor's office, doesn't that make him the most paid hired guns?
yeah.
I mean, he's paid to be, that's his job. You can't even, But we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if he's the right guy to. But he does. He's the marijuana guy.
He's
I know
the
that.
weed guy. That's unfortunate.
Yep.
That is unfortunate. Well, I think this show has come to its logical
Think so?
conclusion.
Probably it's to Steve Miller, but that's fine.
You know,
We can keep going.
I mean,
No,
we can
I
keep
think it's,
plugging ahead.
So
but
St. Clair County Sheriff Tim Donnellan pointed out that
Read that. Josh, read it.
bringing these entities into KPAC would result in noted criminal activity.
This is what I was talking about. Turn this up. This is the song I was talking about.
Quote, it's nothing but trouble for our community.
Here, put this up.
Dark.
This one?
Well, I stood stone
Big
like
trouble.
at midnight. Suspended
Good night,
in my
everybody.
masquerade.